Good afternoon, Joe. It's Greg here again. Sorry about the long delay in between updates. During New Year and New Year's Eve and a few days after, I caught man flu. Unfortunately, then a bit of a chest infection on top of that. But I'm over it now and back to the bench. So I'll show you what I've been doing since I got back onto the bench, probably about the 3rd or 4th of January, probably even, no, maybe even the, probably about the 5th or 6th of January I actually got back down to the bench and to build the JSU-122 VS. So I shall show you some progress, what I've actually got done. It's not a lot, but it's farther on than it was. So I'll show you the figures I'm going to use first. These are little figures I'm going to use. These 5. He's sitting a bit there, so they've all been primed in Mr. Surfacer 1000, just a bit of that was left in the bottom of the bottle, so I used a bit of the old thinners and sprayed them. So nice little figures, so they'll go quite nicely with the, I don't think I'll be doing the dial, but the 5 figures will be, you know, on the tank, so to give you some sort of perspective of how large the vehicle is and a bit of something what's going on there. So that's the paints I'm going to use. Wheels are all, they're all primed and a little bit of colour, shadow and highlights on there. Very straightforward. There's 6 return rollers and 7 wheels, including the idler wheel on each side. So with the, you know, typical basic Russian wheels, just metal on the outside. Obviously, there's a nice bit of detail on them, but fairly straightforward. It's easy to paint these ones, and I'll run a silver around the edge of the wheels when it's all painted. And I've done the same with all the stowage. I've done it all even though I might not use it all. So what I've done is, I've seen somebody use it, I can't remember the name of the site, the channel. If I remember it, I'll stick it in the box below in the information. So what he did, he sprayed a grey, which I used the Mr. Surfacer 1000 again, and then he went over with a German grey, and then went on top of that with the German ivory colour. So I thought, and I liked it. I liked the end result, so I've tried to do it myself, and so far it looks quite good. So obviously these are just highlights and shadows. It's obviously all painting, but I like where it's going at the moment, so just a nice effect. These are the metal sprockets that came with the set, the tracks, which I'll show you as well. I don't know if I showed you the tracks, I can't remember. I'll show you them anyhow, but did the same on there again, and on the rear, which is all going to be in the shadow, so there's no light on the back of that one. Right, so I did all the oil cans, or fuel drums, or whatever you want to call them. There's the one with a weld seam along the back. And I did the same thing again with the shadows and highlights and everything else on there. So there's the PE ones, went together really well. I'm going to leave one off and put 3 on or 2 off, I'm not too sure yet until I get to it. And again, this one's the same, got a bit of damage on this one, a few dents and that. But yeah, it went down well. I used the, what's it called? I can never remember, excuse me a second until I find it. The Mr. Hobby metal primer, this stuff. So I was going to spray it, but it's a bit thick and gloopy to spray, so I just used the brush on all the PE parts, including what was on the tank as well. Right, so the rest of the again, I'm just going to show you a couple of these. Again, we've got the stowage again like that. I may not use all this stowage, but at least it's primed and ready for any other vehicle that I come across. I'll be using this, so I think, somewhere along the line. Again, I've got the shadows in there and the highlights on the top, and then obviously towards the bottom there's going to be more shadow. And with the which I still haven't finished yet. I forgot to finish it before I sprayed it, but that's no problem. I can just add the lid and spray it again. Here's the air defence one. I can never pronounce it or remember it. It begins with D. A lot more cleverer people out there than me will remember it and know what it is. If you could just leave it even at the bottom in your comments, and I'll remember it from then on. So yeah, nice little PE. Obviously got PE from last time, you see, and I'll just same again, just use all 3 coats of paint again like we've just done on the other ones. And I think that's about it really, apart from the, I've got a couple of hatches here as well, but these are just base coated at the moment. On the top again doing the same sort of thing again, and obviously underneath it's going to have to be, I think it's white or off-white. I'll use off-white I think for the interior. I think that's it on there. There's a lot more of his hatches on there as well. There's the barrel cleaning rods, Pioneer tools on there as well. So yeah, I'm happy with those as well. So we shall now bring the out of this box. Let's get the JS out. I say I've done it. I'm quite pleased how it's come out so far. So we have, as you've seen from last time, it's all coated in the same 3 colour paints. The Mr. Surfacer 1000, a Vallejo German Grey, and a Real Colours Ivory from the German set as well. Those squiggly bits and whatever, and same again on the sides and on the barrel as well. All the shadows underneath where the shadows are going to go, and on the rear as well. I was going to try and file these out, but for what I'm going to use this for, it wouldn't have really added to it because it's quite dark and you can't really tell anyhow. But I've noticed a lot of other companies have these, including Tamir I think as well, have these hollow. I know it's an old kit this, but yeah, it's still nice. It's still a nice kit. But yeah, I've got the rear there. There's something going on with the rear there because something happened on here. I don't know what it wasn't a good fit. So maybe just disguise that. I'm not too sure. I might down woods on it and things like that. Might be okay. Again on the sides we've got the same again with the damage on the rear fender, and along the side of the vehicle. Underneath obviously the running gear is going to be dark and shadows as well. There's a little gap between them, but it's better than what it was. At least you can't quite see all the way through, and I'm only going to have I think one hatch open, I think. The rest of the figures are going to be sort of standing on it or whatever. Yeah, quite happy with that. Quite happy indeed. And I say I rechanged the barrel as I showed you last time, so it's got a long barrel from underneath there. We'd have to say, oh sorry, I forgot to say I added a lot of weld seams, didn't I? If you can see them all on the front. Luckily they're Russian, so it's quite rough. Just along these, around these circles, and I added some onto the, where's a pointy stick? There's a pointy stick. Let's use a brush. I added weld seams to here as well. These 4 points where it's attached with this ventilator cover. One on there, one on there, around the hinges for the hatch, on there, on the rear. Again we've added, where are we at? I've added round there and round the hinges on there again. And if you can see on the, let's just come out on here, I did weld seams on here and around these as well, and weld seams around the hinges on the back plate and the hinges here for the external fuel cans, which could have been fitted at some point, but they're not on there no more. And I think that was it really. You've seen the other weld seams, didn't you, on the front from last time. Underneath on these parts here, these parts here, again, and around the toe hooks I've got weld seams, and the back ones I've got the same again. I've got the same again on the back. So, and I say this has got the grey. This is just the grey underneath here. I will be painting the bottom when I get around to doing the base coat, which I might do today. We'll see how we get on. Yeah, so I'm quite happy with where we're heading with this. Paul's cracking on a lot. He's we've not been at the bench for a few days. Paul was cracking on nicely, and he's got a lovely paint job, and he's starting to turn to the dark side of the weathering. I've got him turning to the dark side, so, and what he's doing so far is excellent. Yeah, so yeah, I'm happy with this so far. And let's just put it back out at where. Yeah, it's a nice. I know it's an old kit, but it's a nice kit. Even so, I know most Russian vehicles are fairly straightforward to build. Like I say, my favourite is, as you know, is a 234-85, which I've got a couple of new kits for Christmas. I may do a sort of a Christmas stash ad video after I've done this. We shall see. See what I'm like for time. But yeah, I'm happy with where I'm going with it. Yeah, oh, tracks, I'll show you the tracks. I can't remember if I showed you them or not, but I shall show you them anyhow. I use the VMS stuff this time on it. It's just as nice, it's just as good as the, if not better than the AKC. It's probably just the same stuff, but I've got a nice colour on there to work from. On there. You get the same obviously with the, even no matter how carefully you do it, you still get the parts where there's a little bit of silver in there, but that's no problem. So they're all measured. I've actually fitted the tracks and they fit perfectly. I think it's, I can't remember now. I think I had to take 6 off because I was working on what it said on the box, but it's different on the kit. So we've got plenty spare for the. I'm going to use some for the front plate as well on the. Yeah, the front plate, some on there. I think there's some on the rear. I'm not too sure. I can't remember. I've got plenty of spare bits anyhow to use. So I might even weather these today. I'll start weathering them. I'm not too sure. I'll probably get the green down first, and then leave that to dry and see where we go from there. I'm not going to do a straight green. As you know, it's going to be winter, but not the same one as I said on the box. I've found a nice picture. What I would like to try and replicate, I'll have to do by hand. Using a 0.5 or is it not 0.2 millimeter needle to get what I want. I did it with the what was it? I did it with my last build, the Dreadnought, the Sturm Tiger. That pattern was painted by hand, no masking or anything. So I can do it. I'll just have to take my time and see what I come up with. But you'll see that on the next update, I would have thought. So I think we're out there. So, oh God, I even forgot that. I just want to wish everybody a happy new year, and I hope you all had a good Christmas. We had a fantastic Christmas. All my kids were at home, and my mum came as well for a few days. It was really nice. It was a real nice family Christmas. Now it's all back to normal now. House is quiet again, which I don't really like too much. But yeah, we had a fantastic Christmas. Really, really nice. Again, thank you to all my subscribers, new and old, and we shall see you on the next update, or if I get time today I might do a Christmas ads that I got from family and friends. So we shall catch you very, very soon.